Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. As always, we'll let a couple minutes go by to see if anyone else is going to show. Hopefully, you guys are doing well and business is still kicking. I know, Mark, every time I talk to you, it seems like business is cooking, which is a great thing.
Yes, thank you. It's about to get a lot more crazy here shortly, too.
Why is that?
Uh, let's just say people that I've been communicating or working with for some time that missed their original dates. Uh, Everything comes at once or nothing at all, it seems. So everybody's ready now. Try as you might to plan and space things out, and your clients have other ideas. So.
Oh, ain't that the truth? I'm at the spot where I'm like I literally stopped all my prospecting because I'm afraid to get another deal. And then so it's been like 2 weeks of like, okay, just don't prospect it anymore. Handle what we got. And three more people reach out to me and say, okay, I'm ready to list.
Yeah.
When can we meet? And I'm like, oh, shit.
Hmm.
Uh, which is I mean, it sounds douchey to even say, but like at a certain point, it's like I don't know if I how many more I can do and do them well. But maybe it'll push me to start referring out business or find quasi
Yeah, that's what
teams.
I was doing. I was getting some leads, and then you try and find an agent in that area so you can at least get the referral, and even that's exhausting. I've had a couple listings where the leads just keep coming, even though we're under contract, and I've gotten to the point now where I don't even have the time to try and convert them for a referral fee. So I just like, sorry, it's sold, and I just move on. Yeah.
Uh, Anyone want to share a success story? Well, I mean, I'll go out a little bit, but like we on my team, if you bring in a seller lead, I'm always the one that goes with them to the listing appointment. So yesterday we did a listing appointment, and it was a couple that she'd helped sell their home before, buy a home, sell a home, or buy a home. Um, and for some reason, they didn't use her the last time they sold and bought, but they said that they were following her social media and they realized that there was something different that she was doing. They really want to sell quickly so they can move to Tennessee. So I went and did my listing presentation and we went through the whole thing. And, I never talk about price, like what we're going to list the price at, and I never talk about commissions. And at the very end, I said, okay, well, what questions do you have for me? And one of my new phrases is, and I probably should lead with it, is before I start my presentation, I say, okay, look, is the main goal to sell your home so that you can move over to Tennessee and get your family situated and get out of California? Or is your main goal to sell it for a certain price and hold out until you get that certain price? And they said, no, our goal is to sell this home and to get over there. And I said, okay, perfect. I said, is there any price that if you didn't get at least this price, you wouldn't consider selling? They said, if as long as we get what we bought it for 2 years ago, we're good to go. And I said, okay. So we went through at the end, I asked, what questions do you have? They said, no, how low do you want us to list it? Because that's my whole presentation. And so I answered it, and they said, and when can we get it on the market? So I answered it. We went into my car because I took my team member there, and I said, what question didn't they ask us that you were surprised that they didn't ask us? She goes, they never asked us about commission. I said, that's when you built up so much value that they're not concerned with the commission. So I believe it was a success that we went through, and I did another listing presentation where they never even asked what we're charging for commission. So now we'll put in the full commission, and then if they say it, we'll adapt then. But so
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
does
Oh,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I can't remember the last time I did a listing presentation.
Oh, there you go.
And
I
so and it's like to everything that you just said, it's like that is a testament, and it is so nice and refreshing. And granted, it's the lead source, the lead type that kind of helps dictate this a little bit, but in these crisis situations, which is the bulk of what I'm in, I don't even almost hardly talk real estate to that depth of or even anything remotely resembling a listing presentation anymore.
You
It's
just have a
awesome.
conversation and
Yeah.
talk about their pain points.
Yeah. And just the goals and just how to get through this mess as best as possible. Talk about the goals and the timelines. And all right, well, then we'll design a solution for that and boom, done. There is no here's stats, here's data, this is what I do, this is how I do it. None of that. It's
Oh,
great.
awesome, awesome. All right. And does anyone, before we get into kind of what I was going to cover today, does anyone have any questions or topics they want to cover? Anything that they wish we can improve these LFG calls? Anything like that? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
So I can't think of anything.
All right. All right. Well, today I was going to basically kind of just talk about 5 different ways to prospect. We any business in the world, or especially in our country, the only way it's going to succeed is if they are getting new leads or getting new clients. And obviously, prospecting is one of the ways to do so. Um, so I just wanted to kind of talk about 5 different ways that with no cost, no money. So if someone has absolutely $0, how can they prospect every single day that will drive business? Um, and I say it all the time, but the number one driver to the top producer's business is their friends, family, and past clients. And it's studies have shown that people will use someone they know, like, and trust, and that they value, but at the same time, a lot of people will not use the same agent they used before. And I think it's because we treat them like transactions. We close the transactions and then we never call the person back again. And in my business, I do the exact opposite. Once I close the transaction, they are my clients. And I have to maintain that relationship every single month. Let them know how appreciative I was. Ask them any questions do they have about their home. Is there anything that's going wrong with it? Now that they've sold their home, what are they thinking to do with it? Even if they move out of the state, if they move out of state, just like my client yesterday, the reason why they're moving to Tennessee is because their best friend moved to Tennessee last year. They've been trying to get them to come over. They finally went and visited during the holidays. They fell in love with them. They said, okay, we're moving. So I think even if someone moves out of your state, you still call them because they're going to know people that are going to want to follow them. So I really think one of the most effective ways is to call your sphere. You can call them with a monthly value call, a PSA, a public service announcement, something that they can learn, something that can help them out, something they can be aware of. You can call with a market update. Even if someone's not looking to buy or sell or invest, most people want to know what's going on with the real estate market. And if you leave it up to social media or the mainstream media to where they get their education and their information, they are being misled. Right now, they're calling, oh, we're the market's coming to a crash. Well, that's not true in every market for sure. And I don't even know if there is a market that we've had a 20% reduction from sales price last year. I know we're coming to a correction, but they need to understand what a correction is and why it's good that we're coming into correction and how it affects them, whether they're a seller or a buyer. Invite them to an event. And it could be a free event. It could be an event that you know about in the area. It could be an event about a speaker that's coming that that's coming into the market that they're doing a free thing. Um, I know, like, out here, there's tax lien classes that are for free. It's a free course. There's investment classes that are free. So take them to that free course. I think even Tony Robbins still does a free workshop once a year. Look for those things to invite them to. And then you can always ask them, which is, I believe, my best script ever. If you ever knew somebody who was going to buy, sell, or invest into real estate at any point in time in their lives, do you know a great agent you'd refer them to? You're not asking them if they know someone today or tomorrow, because most people do not, but you're asking them if they ever do know somebody, who would they invite? And when that happens, um, sorry, hold on one second. Someone's trying to get on and help them. Um, so that would be, I'd say, is the number one thing is call people in your phone. Another people you can call is call your board of directors, or if you don't have board of directors, call people that um, call people that are tax planners, call people that are estate planners, call people that are insurance agents, call people that are placement agents. Call them and build a relationship with them. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't need that many of them to be successful. And I think Mark is a testament of this. Of he started that process, and now I don't even think he calls a sphere. He's just getting so much business from people, and they're in crisis mode, and that's a great way to get your business going and prospect. And you have to prospect every single day. And most thing that I know take 12 to 18 months. If you do something consistently for 12 to 18 months, it will show up in your business. But everything that we do, there's very few things that can give you now business. And we'll go through some of these prospecting will actually get you more, have a better chance to get you now business. um, then the next one is email your CRM. And if you don't have a CRM, if you don't have a database that you're working, you do not have a business. Every single one of us should have a CRM, and we should treat it like a business, a book of business, and you should be reaching out to them. Email them. A great one that I saw is Deal of the Week. You scour your MLS for what you believe is the best deal on in your neighborhood, in your city. Look, put it out there, get the link to it, and say, hey, here's the deal of the week. And put it, let me know if you're interested in investing. Let me know if you're interested in seeing this home. That right there will, one, find your investors in your CRM, because there's people that are investing in real estate that you're probably not aware of. And if you label subject line deal of the week, people will be inspired by it. And if it's not right for them, but they're still looking, they might reach out to you and say, hey, you know, I want to know other deals that you got going on. Okay, well, what are you looking for? This has been pretty effective as a way of engaging without coming off super salesy, or you're trying to give them insider information. If you do have a listing, I personally would put my listing as deal of the week before it hits the market. Hey, deal of the week, I want to let you know about this property I have before it's coming on the market. This is one of the best listings I have coming up. Let me know if you know anyone that wants to go see it. You tell them about a new loan program. Tell them about a grant program. I mean, I did one, even it was on social media. I didn't email it to them. I just said, hey, there's a new loan program that could get your house paid off in 7.5 years, and it has a 2% effective rate. I had 45 people reach out to me. Some were lender, or some were real estate agents, and others were clients wondering, okay, how do I pay off my house in 7.5 years, and how do I get a 2% effective rate? Another one you could do is email, hey, come in and invest with me. Here's my new project. Again, you can almost use the same idea of like find a really good investment, ask them to invest with you. A lot of people believe that realtors get this secret inventory, and I'm okay with them believing so. And hopefully you're networking with other agents so you know what their upcoming market is. You're prospecting or building a relationship with wholesalers and other investors that are sending you good off-market properties. Ask them to invest with you. A lot of times you can say, well, the way I work it is I find the deals. I'm going to help project manage the deals, and I'm going to throw my commissions into the deal, and you're going to need to put up the down payment or the cash to make the deal close. Again, you just need one person out of your CRM to do that with you, and now you're starting to invest. You make some money, And now you can do it again and then have other people invest. Hey, I just invested with this person. We found this great deal. We each made 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand, whatever it was. Who wants to invest with me? So that'd be another great email to do. See, I have a question in this in the chat of what CRM. I mean, I think there's so many good CRMs nowadays. The ones that I use is Lion Desk, and mostly because it's free with my MLS, or they have a $29 version, maybe it'll be $39 now. It's relatively inexpensive for what it does. I think that's a great one. Go High Level is a game changer. I think it's like $159 a month. It might be a little bit more. But they have integrated AI, they've integrated drip systems. So that one would be another great one. Once your business is up and running, I'm just signed up to them. It's called Fellow. It is a CRM, but they actually have integrated AI, drip system, landing pages, and they actually help engage with your sphere or with your CRM. Um, Frequently, and then once they get someone to basically come to the most likely to sell, it shows up on your dashboard. So now you know who to really connect with. Because when you have like 4,000 people, it's impossible to connect with them all and have a relationship with them all. And if someone's figured it out, let me know because it's pretty impossible. Sorry, my computer's dying. So that would be another, a way that you can prospect relatively for free. Next one would be social media. I think if you're not on social media, you're not engaging social media. I don't believe you have a business in today's market, because it's one of the best and easiest ways to engage with your friends. If someone is losing their job, got a new job, had a baby, got married, someone passed away, someone's thinking about moving out of state, whatever the case may be, one of the number one places they share that information with is on social media. So what easier way to get to know your friends, family, people in your sphere than engaging with them on Facebook? And I can almost go to any one of my Facebook friends, go through their last month and see what's going on in their lives, engage with them. So they post like, hey, just had a new baby. That one I'd probably call on them, but the very least I'd say, "Oh my God, congratulations. How big was he when he was born?" Or what do you think he's gonna be? Or like asking a question that they're gonna respond to. Now the algorithms say, "Hey, Corey engaged with him. He engaged back with Corey. They must want to see each other's stuff." So that way, when I post on social media, they're more likely to see it. So now I can actually start doing some plugs in there, talk about my family, but every once in a while, say something about real estate. To me, I think it's one of the best ways to engage. I do a ABC 1, 2, 3. So on the first of the month, I engage with all my A's, the people that start with an A. On the second day of the month, I engage with all the people that start with a B. And I will literally go back through their profile on their timeline feeds for at least a month, try to find 3 to 5 different posts to engage with, to like. And then if I need to, and there looks like there was like a milestone event, they got married, had a baby, someone passed away, had a birthday, I'll actually physically reach out to them on the phone and say, "Hey, I thought saw it was your birthday. Sorry that I missed it. Wanted to wish you happy birthday. What'd you end up doing? What are your goals? Is there anything that I can do to help you reach your goals this year?" And just be a human being and be genuine. And it's one of the drivers to my business. Another thing that you could do is search community groups. So if you're not on your community groups, like we have probably 15 different Simi Valley community groups, all the time on there, people are like, "Hey, do you know a good realtor? Hey, I'm moving into town. Who would you suggest, or what areas would you suggest?" There's always buy, sell, and invest opportunities on those community groups. Engage with them. One trick that I've learned from other people that have done it really successful is they don't only comment or engage when it has to do about real estate. If someone says, "Hey, I need an electrician, who would you recommend?" That person's in there, "Hey, I'm a local realtor. These are the 3 people I'd recommend. Hey, I'm a local realtor. These are the 3 people I'd recommend." So any way that they can possibly engage and be that person of reference. Now, the algorithms, one, will put their stuff up more in front, but also people constantly are seeing their stuff. Once they constantly see their stuff, they're going to click on their profile and they're going to realize, hey, this person's a really good agent. It's got really good information. and it gives you a chance for them to come off and actually engage with you. Um, and then referral groups. If you guys aren't involved in referral groups, like I know almost every single brokerage has their own referral groups. I know there's things like I need a realtor. I'm in there all the time. It is filled with a lot of realtors, but realtors will always go and like, hey, I have a client that's moving to blah blah blah. Who do we know in here? I know even our group does it. So spend some time engaging with those people. And any one of these methods, it's spend an hour engaging on social media every single day. I guarantee you'll get business from it. It'll almost be impossible not to. Spend an hour engaging with your friends and family. Spend an hour calling people. Spend an hour, emailing is pretty easy, especially with the CRM. You can literally email 4,000 people with a click of a button. So, but you can get highly, technical about it if it's one of your main prospecting things. And email these people deal of the week, email these people a market update, email these people a PSA, and make it kind of methodical through it. Um, Another one would be calling most likely. So if you're a title state, you can call title. Almost every single title agent has it and says, I want you to pull me a list of everyone that's most likely to sell in this farm area. I want you to pull me a list of people that are most likely to sell in this age geographic. And they will literally have an algorithm or program that could pull out all the people based on the statistics, based on how long they've owned a home, how much they're engaging with social media. They will have a list of people, and then you just got to call them. Most of the ones that I'm going to talk about on this fourth pillar is cold calling people that you might not know. But if you're not calling the people that you do know, you gotta call somebody. So if you're afraid to call people you know, maybe you're not afraid to call people you don't know. FSBOs is another one because obviously if they put their house on the market to sell, that's a great person to engage. The ones that I've seen work the best, the scripts, are when people call and say, I see that your home's on the market. I know you're probably getting tons and tons of phone calls of people wanting to come over to try to list your home. I'm just curious because I'm a buyer's agent that specializes in the area. Where are you looking to buy a home after you sell this home? Can I help send you some homes that are off market or that are exclusive, pocket listings to help you find the home? So that way, when you do sell your own home, I can help you on the back end. Because most of FISBOs are okay paying buyer's agents. And then you can also say, well, if I bring you a buyer, are you willing to pay me a buyer's agent commission? Oh, great. Okay. Can I come look at your home so I can know which one of my clients might be a potential buyer for you? And it just shows a way to get in there. Once you're in there, say, hey, when was the last time you sold a home? Has anyone showed you all the disclosures? Has anyone ever showed you the purchase agreement? And that way you're starting to educate them and they're starting to look at you as the expert. And then, statistically speaking, over 80% of FISBOs list with an agent within 3 weeks. If you went above and beyond and helped them, hopefully, and showed you that you are educated, that you do know what you're talking about, hopefully they'll give you at least an opportunity. If nothing else, you can get a buyer's lead out of it. And then expireds and cancels. And the same thing, I would call expireds and cancels and say, I know you're probably getting inundated with phone calls of people trying to list your home. I have a work with buyers. I'm just wondering, if I brought you a buyer, would you still consider selling the home? And that would be another one that I would do. Before I keep going on and end off with the last one, does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any thoughts, any aha moments, any things that you want me to go over further? Right.
Nope, all
Anyone
clear.
anyone like anything that I've said so
Yeah,
far?
I'm writing a ton of notes. Thank you. All clear.
Okay, perfect. Um, and the last one, I mean, I hate to say it, but open houses. If you're looking for now business, I would say, looking at the social media groups, the community groups, those are people that are actually looking for a realtor now. That could be great now business. Um, the calling the most likely to sell, people that are actually looking to sell their homes pretty recently, that's also now business. Open houses, I think, is one of the best ways to engage. Our open houses, we get hundreds of people through, and you have to treat every person that walks through that door as a real lead, because more than likely, I mean, there are some looky-loos, but more than likely, every single person that walks in is thinking about buying in the next couple weeks to maybe the next 6 months. People are looking to come in there, they're looking to sell in the next couple weeks to the next 6 months. So that would be, one little trick that I saw. He's a brand new kid, he's 26 years old, and he actually got Rookie of the Year at our office. And one of the reasons is because he went to all the listings in the areas that he wants to cover. He wants to be a luxury agent, so he started with the ones that are $2 million above. And he asked the agents, "Can I hold your open house during the week?" And I never even thought to have an open house during the week, to be honest. He would do them right at lunchtime or right in the evening time. And he said, "You know what? I didn't get a lot of people through, but the people that came through were super, super serious. And they are willing to sit and talk for so much more than the ones on the weekend, because there was no other open houses for them to go visit." So he's getting more opportunities to go do it, and he's actually, getting really, really engaged. He found a $2.5 million seller that came in and said, "Hey, I'm so impressed with you doing an open house on a weekday. I want you to come list my home, and I'm gonna buy another $2 million home right after it." So, I mean, just that alone. Now, I'm not saying that every opportunity is gonna be like that, but that was his method. And I know when people call me for open houses, I'm like, "Guys, we do all our open houses on weekends." If I gave away open houses to to other people that are my teammates, they would kill me. But if someone called me and said, "Hey, I wanna host an open house on a weekday," and my seller was cool with it, and most of them are, because they're gone out of the house anyways. They're usually at work or picking up kids or doing something. Well, then maybe I probably would say yes to them and let them get some opportunity. So that would be a good one. Obviously, weekend open houses, I say if you're gonna do a weekend open house, be different. So one of the ways that I get so many people through is I don't hold 2-hour open houses. My open houses are from 10 in the morning to about 4, sometimes 6 in the afternoon. It's an all-day open house. I stole the method from a new builder's home, where new builders are never open for 2 hours. They're usually open for an 8 to 10-hour day, because they don't want any chance that someone was gonna come in but couldn't fit in that time slot. I have 7 kids, there's no way I'm making an open house from 11 to 1 or 1 to 3, or if I do, I'm making it to 1 open house. But if you have an open house from 10 to 4, 10 to 6, now I have so many more opportunities when I'm on my way home from church, when I'm taking little Billy to school or practice, or going out to the Home Depot. I'll have more opportunity to go, "Hey, you know what? I can stop by real quick." So you'll have more opportunities. Um, and then listings in your farm, you like, if I was gonna farm an area, every single time there was a listing in my area, I would ask to hold the open house, help host the open house. And even if it was just I'm gonna be there at the same time as the listing agent, the more important part is I'm gonna go door knock the whole entire neighborhood every single time there's a listing. And I'm gonna say, "Hey, there's an open house." And I might even be willing to door knock that whole entire neighborhood, even if I wasn't able to host the open house. And I would just tell the listing agent, "Hey, I know you're doing your open house. Would you mind if I door knock that whole entire area, that whole entire 250 homes, and let them know about your open house?" I don't know a listing agent that would say no. Maybe we would, because we door knock 250 homes, but most listing agents are not going to do that. And now you have an opportunity to meet all the neighbors, tell them about the open house, and be the one in the know. And if you say, "It's actually not even my listing, I just want you guys to know because I'm the neighborhood expert here, and I want to let you guys know about the open house that's coming up," it might be a great opportunity to do so. I'm gonna look through, how do you get how do you get hundreds of open? So my open houses, my method, I've done in different states. I've done it in Florida, I've done it in Arizona, I've done it in Texas, I've done it in Tennessee, I've done it in New York, and then I've done it all across California. There's a tire method that comes through, and we get hundreds. My most ever, I got 737 people through our open house. We were literally on the news. There were so many people there at the property at one time that literally they thought there was going to be like an illegal rave going on during the day. And so there was news, the cops showed up. And when I explained to them, hey, no, we're just doing an open house, everyone was baffled at what was going on. But yeah, and I also do a class sometimes to offer the open houses. Um, it's challenging with open houses because most of them come through already have an agent. So one thing I would say is, how do you know they have an agent? So Frankie, how do you know they have an agent?
Okay, so when I engage with them, they make it clear that they have an agent.
Okay,
They
so do you ask them? You say, hey, are
I
you
do.
working with?
Once
Okay.
they come in and I welcome them and, I tour or show them the home. And sometimes they'll mention that they already have an agent, but yeah, I do ask the question.
Okay. Never ask the question.
Why
What you're
not?
going to assume from here on out is if someone comes into your open house and they do not have an agent with them or they do not hand you their agent's business card, which is what people that are truly sign an agreement really have an agent, they will literally show up. They will say, I'm not signing in, but here's my agent's card. If they do not do that, consider that they are an orphan. And I would even say if they do give you a card, I would say they've been adopted, but they're looking for a new parents to be their parents. Um, so I never ask them. The questions I ask them when they come in, how did you hear about my open house? And no matter what they answer, oh good, I love to see that my marketing's working. Signs, Zillow, the email, whatever it may be, I love to see that my marketing's working, or I love to see which marketing's working. The next question I ask them is, where are you coming from? Some people, oh, we're coming from Little Billy's practice. We're coming from church, or we're coming from Chatsworth. We're coming from Thousand Oaks. We're coming from Simi Valley. Like it's so open-ended of a question that they might answer it in so many different ways. I'm trying to get them to open up and engage. I never ask yes or no questions, but it's just like, a car salesman's coming in going, oh, well, what brought you in today? What do you mean what brought me in? I'm looking at cars. Or are you looking to buy a car today? That's the worst thing. No, no, I'm not. No, no, we're just looking. If you ask someone, do you have an agent? Are you working with an agent? They are trained. And if they're not, their brain will be trained to say, oh, yep, I already have an agent. So I never ask those two questions. So I'll go there. The third question I'll ask is, what if, like, once they sign in, and they have to sign in to get into my open house, if they don't want to sign in, they're just not allowed in. I'm sorry. The seller demands that I get every single person to sign in with their first name and last name and either an email or a phone number, some way to contact them to prove that they were actually in the home. And if you don't want to do that, I have to, regretfully say that you're not allowed in because I have to respect my seller not wanting strangers inside their house. And I have a 99.9% sign-in rate. Um, then the next thing I'll ask them is, do you mind, or would it offend you if I told you why the seller is selling? Now I can actually tell them the story of why my seller's selling. I can give them a little bit of insider information, and now they're all trusting me even more to be their expertise. I do not have flyers at my open houses. I think flyers is just a way for someone not to engage with you. If they want to know how big the home is, they want to know what year it's born in. If they want to know if it has AC, whatever they want to know, guess who they're going to have to ask? They're going to have to ask me.
Me.
The second thing is if I give them a flyer, that flyer is going to be on the car floorboard faster than, them even going inside the car themselves. Why am I just throwing away paper? They found the house without the flyer. Why do they need a flyer? And I want to make myself stick out. Everyone else is giving them flyers. I want to stick out something. So we have a way where if they want it, I say, here's when you get it through list reports, here's a QR code, or this, you can text this number, and it's going to give you all the information about the home. And the cool thing is, if I make an update, if I change the price, if this home goes into escrow, we learn something new about the home, it'll automatically update you. So now you're the first one in the know. You don't have to keep searching back on Zillow. So great little thing. Then I don't guide them through homes. I just say, okay, this is, tell them about why the seller's selling, tell them a couple features and benefits that they're not going to see elsewhere. And then I guide them and say, go ahead and feel free to look around. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm guiding them through one side of the house that is going to make them come back to me. So, you generally, houses are set up sometimes where rooms are on one side, living room, kitchen's on another, or whatever. I will gear them, see if they'll listen to me, see if they'll take direction, or they're combative and they go the opposite way. I know I have a combative person that wants to lead the conversation. So I'm going to have to really let them lead the conversation. The person that's willing to take my direction, now I can lead the conversation.
Well, let me
When they
ask you a
come,
question,
yeah, go
Corey,
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
if you don't mind.
No, go.
So I'm just going back to don't ask them if they have a buyer's agent.
Mhm.
So let's say, like, because I do have them sign in, I make it mandatory because I'm collecting emails and having their full information. So what about if I added them to to email campaigns? But let's say that a buyer really did have an agent. They really had, and they signed and had an exclusive agreement with a buyer's agent, and I did not know that. Can I still, is me marketing to them via email and or me pursuing them to possibly work with me? How will that discovery happen? Like, if because a lot of times buyers, they will, okay, I have a signed agreement with someone, but they turn around and want to work with me. Like, how
So,
that unknown kind of makes me nervous.
I'll tell you what my board told me. This is my MLS, association, or not my MLS, but my association told me, because I had a buyer broker agreement signed way before this August 17th. And I showed them a home. We put an offer in on a home, and the offer didn't get accepted. The listing agent went around me, told them if they put the offer in through him, they'll get the offer accepted. And I caught them in the lie. So I reported it, went to the association, said, hey, they still owe me the commission and blah, blah. And the association said, well, we don't get involved in that. And really, when it comes down to it, it's whoever the buyer felt more comfortable writing the offer with. Now, I could have
Hmm.
taken them to court and I could have sued them both, but I'm not in the business to sue. What I'm going to tell you is, if you put them on the drip campaign, and as long as you're not saying lose your agent and come list with me, I don't care if you have an agent come buy a home with me. I don't believe you're doing anything wrong. The way I ask the question is this: who do you have sending you off market properties?
Hmm.
Because even if they have a buyer broker agreement, if that buyer's agent isn't sending them off market properties, I can then go say, well, what we could do is you can use your agent for all the ones that are on the market, and you can wait for the competition. You can wait till it's too late to see it on Zillow. But the ones that I send you off market, I want you to sign an agreement that you're going to use me. So that's how I would do that one. But I'm not worried about it because, one, the new buyer's agreement's only good for 90 days, which is stupid because not many people can find a home in 90 days. Two, people aren't loyal. A lot of agents aren't strong enough to do an exclusive, so they'll just do, hey, here's an agreement, and use me if I represent you. And you're like, okay. So I wouldn't assume that it's the norm. Um, Especially when they come through the open house without an agent. And then also, what to me, I generally would never let my client go to an open house without me. Like, no,
Yeah, I
let's
had
go out
one
looking
open
together.
house where
S-
there were at least 5 families that came in that didn't come with their agent, but they did say they had one. So I'm
So
gonna remove that my as a talking track. So
yeah,
yeah.
I would never ask that in when they fill it out. It's never a question. Are you working with an agent? Do you have an agent? Do You're an orphan. You come to my open house, you are an orphan. And if I can provide enough value to you, Because even if you buy a home, and this is what with all my methods, I'm never looking for the transaction. I'm never looking to make you a client. I'm looking to make you a introduction referral partner. If you buy a home, you're gonna buy a home once every 5 to 7 years, and if you're older, once every 10 to 15 years. But you're gonna know 7 people every single year that it's gonna buy, sell, invest. I want to do such a good job providing you value, not being salesy, not trying to get your business, but showing you that I am the expert. I am the neighborhood expert. I'm the guy that's going to send you deals of the week. I'm the guy that's going to tell you about loan programs. I'm the guy that's going to tell you about, roofing, the tips and tricks. That's me. So that way when you think of real estate, you're going to think of me, not your realtor. And you're going to end up referring me to business. And I've gotten business from people that did not use me, met me up at an open house. They've referred me their friends, family, daughters, uncles, all different types of people because they're like, you did something different. Even though I didn't use you, I realized that I probably should have used you. Less, I think it's 18%. It might be a little bit more, but I think 18% of buyers who buy with an agent do not use their buyer's agent when they go to do the next transaction. So the fact that they're a buyer is a great thing because it means that they're actually active. But even if they use their agent to do the thing, most of them are not going to use the agent on the back end. And because you and I are not in this business for the next 18 months, we're in this business for the next 5 to 10, 15 years. You want that person in your CRM. You want to build up a relationship with them and you want to show them why you're different.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. Mark, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I've had someone tell me similar things. It's all about the questions you ask. If you don't like the answers you're getting, rephrase your question. And one of the things I've heard, which is slightly contrary to what Cory just said, but it is, have you signed with an agent? And sometimes the conversation, you're gonna have your bad days. Maybe you forget to pose the question correctly, or the way the conversation flows is not conducive to Cory's method, and you got to come up with your own zig and zag, right? So sometimes it's, have you signed with an agent? And that gets you a different answer, and they'll oftentimes say, well, no. Or they'll have a deer in the headlights look on their face, and you'll know what's going on. But yeah, sometimes they think, oh yeah, I have an agent because the guy that helped me buy my house, I'll probably use him, but they're not committed, right? So they're, like he said, they're trained to answer that way, and just to assume that they're lying or that they're open. See, people don't change their minds; they make different decisions with new and different information. And so you've got to come up with a story or a reason why you're of value or of greater value.
100%. Yeah. And it's so we'll go through then another great question we ask because everyone goes, how do I get their feedback on the house without saying, oh, is this the house for you? Oh, what do you think? You're gonna put an offer in it? One of our best ways to ask the question is, how does this house compare to other ones you've seen on the market? They will give you real feedback. Oh, we like it, but we didn't like X. Oh, it was great. We're really going to contemplate it. Okay, great. So those are all different things that you can ask them. Another one that I love to ask is, how long have you been looking? And almost no matter what they say, I always go, why so long? Because most people say, oh, we've been looking for 3 months, 6 months. We've been looking for the past 2 years. Oh, why so long? Oh, we just haven't been able to find the ones we were looking, blah, we went through this, we went through. Oh, yeah, that's why we specialize in off-market properties. Also, we know how to find the great deals on the market. Are you looking for the great deal, or are you looking for, something really in particular that's just like a needle in a haystack to find? They're going to tell you right then what they're looking for. Oh, great. Well, we actually have methods to find the great deals on the market. Oh, needle and haystack. Yeah, really, with the needle and haystack, our dream program is the best one for that. We actually will find your dream neighborhood, find exactly what you're looking for, and we'll start calling sellers off market. Your buyers can be gold mines, especially right now in my market, at least. Like, we have 44 homes available, probably only 6 buyers that are actually looking. If I go back to my buyers and I start saying, hey, let me find you that needle in a haystack. This is the time to do so. Now I can find sellers that are off market or even on market and say, hey, I have a buyer this your house is exactly what they're looking for. Can we make a deal together? So that would be my 5 different ways to prospect with no money. Um, and again, my day, if I was going to do the perfect daily schedule, 4 hours of my day, I would find ways to prospect. And I would find things that I enjoy doing. I don't enjoy door knocking, but if you do, put door knocking in there. I don't enjoy cold calling people, but if you do, put the FISBOs and cancels and expires and most likely to sells in there. What I do love to do, I love calling neighbors, complete strangers, and inviting them over for open houses with tacos and slushies. It's what do you mean? Yeah, we have an open house. It's not yet on the market. I wanted to invite you over for an exclusive neighborhood open house. By the way, we're gonna have tacos and slushies there from 11:30 to 2:30. What do you mean you're gonna Yeah, we're gonna have free tacos and slushies. Just come on by. Bring the whole entire family. If you got kids, even if you got 7 like me, come on over and bring them over. Wow, this guy's different. Perfect. I want to be different. Um, so that would be our thing. And then if you guys are available at 8 o'clock, so in 15 minutes, we are doing the second half of the coaching in the hot seat, and we're going to be going into our blueprints. We're going to be talking about what's working in each of our businesses. You guys can ask any questions you may have. It's free for everybody. It's the last half of our senior launch lab. So if you guys can, go ahead and meet us there. The link should be on Facebook, and I'm going to put it into the chat right now, just in case. Um,
Hey Corey,
yes.
just real quick, what are your top 3 ways of finding off-market properties?
Um, so one, it's like, let's say I have a buyer. Usually I look for off-market properties for buyers, but I will go through and have title pull their criteria, skip trace them, and I will call them up and say, hey, my buyer, we showing them a home in the neighborhood, try to pick a listing that was up in the last couple of months. They looked at this listing, they didn't really like the home, but they fell in love with the neighborhood. Was wondering if my buyer brought you an acceptable price, would you consider selling, or do you know any of your neighbors that are considering selling? So that would be probably one of the best ways to do so. Um, you can go in on social media groups and go, hey, I have a buyer. This is what they're looking for. We're just seeing if there's nothing that we found on the market fits their needs. But if you think this is your house and you're thinking about selling, or someone that you know, please let us know. There's another way to find off-market properties. And then I believe that expireds, cancels, NODs, NOSs, FISBOs, those are all technically off-market because they're not on the MLS. So that would be another, probably the third way to find off-market properties.
Thank you. What you said expires, cancels, and what were the other 2?
Notice of default, notice of sales. So people that are
Oh,
in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure, those are off market and they usually have motivation to sell. They might not be um, come to full reality that they're going to have to sell. But if more than likely, if you're 3 months behind, you're not catching up. Maybe you get a forbearance or something like that. So I will see you guys all in the next call. Hopefully you guys got something out of today. And keep, if you could do anything for us, it would be just keep posting in social media and the realtor groups about our call, about our monthly calls, our daily calls, or our coaching programs. It'd be gratefully helpful. And we'll see you guys, whoever can join, in the next 12 minutes. Thank you guys.